once again to the Den of Doom. Today we're going to do a session that has got 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes and 5-minute efforts. Throughout those efforts we're going to work on relatively easy power. We're going to stay below threshold throughout, and we are going to vary the cadence for each of the efforts. So starting with 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, and then we're going to do a 5-minute effort. For each of those, our pedaling cadence will increase, and so will the power. So we're starting off with our warm-up to begin with, and then we'll obviously move into the effort. So just get the watch ready, bike indoor. It says do workout. I'm going to say do workout, and in 10 seconds time, I'm going to press the start button. Okay, I'm going to press start in 3, 2, 1, okay. And the warm-up begins. So nice, easy warm-up. Cadence, whatever suits you. Nice and steady. Keep it going. Hi, boys. Good to see you on board again. Got Mark, Will, and let's see who else is there. Yep, we got Barry and Tom. Gosh, there's a whole load of you today. And who else? Looking in the back of the room to see who's here. So hide at the back, make sure you're ready and visible for me to see you. Give me a wave, give me a light, give me some love. Okay, keeping it going. Okay, keep it going, that's it, nice and smooth. We've also got Joe. Welcome back, Joe. We've had a couple of weeks without seeing you, but good to see you back on the bike. It's absolutely fantastic. Keep those legs spinning. Nice, easy warm-up. I'm just going to get my power zone that I want it to be in. That was a little bit too easy there for me. That's it. Keep those legs spinning. Stay comfortable. Make sure you've got your towel. Make sure you've got your water bottle. If you haven't, press pause now. Go and grab them and then come back. You might want to make sure you've got your fan on. I haven't got mine on. Feeling a bit cold at the moment. I'm hoping I won't need to get off and put it on. Maybe in the recoveries, who knows. That's it. Keep spinning out the warm-up. Just check it. I think I can hear the bike rubbing against something somewhere. So we've got 8 minutes warm-up left. That's 2 minutes. And I am warming up, so I can imagine at some point I will be putting my fan on. So maybe make sure yours are off. All depends on the temperature in the room. That's it, fantastic. And what girls have we got today? Freya, hiya Freya, Sarah, Catherine, well done, good to see you. Heather, fantastic. We've got Kate, brilliant Kate, good to have you with us. Keep on pedaling. And Sally, fantastic. Come on, Sally, keep those legs turning. Absolutely brilliant. I think there's some vibration running through where I'm touching the actual treadmill, so I can hear it buzzing away. Absolutely fantastic, well done. Keep those legs spinning. Warming up quite nicely. My clock's going. So I'm going to work through. At the moment this warm-up is probably spinning away. An RPE of about 4. We're going to hold on to 4 for the effort. But what we are going to do is we're going to slow the cadence down and push out a little bit more power. So we'll be working through the gears. So for those of you working to RPE, what you'll probably find is, for each of the efforts that we do, you might just want to go one gear harder. But it might work out that you can stay in that gear, and because we're lifting the cadence, you are working harder anyway. So it's a little bit of trial and error with this one. The first time we do it, we'll see how we go. Try and follow me where possible. This is a new session for me. I usually like to do them before I record, but today I was like, oh, if I do it without you not being here, that means I'm going to end up doing it twice. Have I got the energy to do it twice? So you're getting it fresh. New session, fresh off the blocks. It all goes horribly wrong if you never see the light of day. I've got the power and the percentage is all right. I'm going to jump off at this point, but you guys keep pedaling because I am going to pop that fan on. Keep those legs pedaling. Just because I stop doesn't mean you can. Woo. Break the fan. Keeping it going, guys. Superb. Oh, it's a little bit fresher. It's fresh, it's so fresh. Exciting. Ooh, ah. Absolutely brilliant, lads. Keep those legs turning. Ooh. Now I'm regretting putting it on, of course. Oh, can't win me. Too hot or too cold. Too sweet or too sour. Never just right. Like Goldilocks. Without the golden locks, of course. Or the youth. All three bears, actually. Pie, Poppy, and Tom. There's my three bears, I suppose. Keep those legs spinning. Don't worry about the cadence at this point. We've got 3 minutes left for the warm-up, and then into the first effort. Absolutely brilliant, well done. Yeah, it's looking a bit crazy, I can tell. Now the wind is blowing in my locks. My grey locks rather than Goldilocks. So the first one, remember, it's going to be an RPM, revolutions per minute, or cadence, of somewhere between 70 and 80. So to hit 80, I would be looking at counting one leg 20 times in 15 seconds. So somewhere between 17 and 20 is what we're aiming for. Nice and slow, controlled, engaging all of the muscle groups. So I bet you're wondering, those of you who just joined, she always makes us pedal really fast. I do. However, the likelihood of us being able to pedal at those cadences at some of the hills is very, very small. So it's really important that we do practice working at lower cadences. Today's session's got a bit of everything. We've got low cadence, finishing off with high cadence. I know, you can't contain your excitement. Thumbs up if you're with me. So we'll get started, and then I will tell you when to change gear or to count that cadence. So our first effort is coming up in about 50 seconds time. Make sure you've got everything you need around you, because there'll be no going back. Turn your phone off. Don't let anyone interrupt you. Only me. Keep the focus. And if that Graham comes calling again, Mark, tell him to wait. Helen Claire says he's in trouble. Have a drink. 15 seconds to go. So we're going to be 70 to 80% of our threshold heart rate and effort. Okay, so now slowing it down. And I want you to think about scraping the poo off your shoe for this whole time. Over the top, and then poo off the shoe. Flick it off. There, need a little bit more. Hopefully I've got enough gearing. Okay, we'll do a count in 5 seconds time. 3, 2, 1, and count. Nineteen for me. So I'm just under the 80, which is where we want to be. Keep it going. Absolutely fantastic. Slow and steady wins this race up the mountains. We want to get stronger as we go up. So for this session in the lower cadences in particular, you don't need to be in your bars. If you were climbing, you'd be holding onto the hoods or the crossbar in order to get yourself up there. You might change your position. You might pull on your little, what are these things called? Armrests. You tip your pelvis under and have a different pedal action, particularly for hills like Wiseman's Bridge. It's a lovely one. Okay, count again in 5, 2, 1, and count. $19 for me again. What are you guys getting? Tempted to go a little bit lower. See if I can hold it. Slow it down a bit. So my hill is getting steeper. Wiseman's Bridge. I'll be lucky to go up at 80, I've got to be honest. It all depends a little bit on the gearing that you've got at the back. I'm trying to stay in my power zone whilst maintaining a steady cadence. Lots of concentration going on here. Getting ready to count again. Are you ready? 2, 1, and count. 18. We've only gone down one revolution. It makes, in those 15 seconds, it does feel completely different. You just want to keep pushing and spinning. I'm so used to spinning. It feels alien to be going this slow on the turbo. Clearly, if you're training outside, you'll be selecting the gear that's most appropriate for you to go up in. But what quite often happens is we start off with a little bit too much enthusiasm, and instead of getting stronger towards the top, we drop off. So we want to get stronger, and today we're going to power off the top of that hill. Good, keep it going, guys. Come on. Come on, Tom. Really good, well done. Be strict with yourself, think about how you're pedaling, scraping that poo off of that shoe. Nice, some of you girls, I noticed you've got that lower cadence going on at the moment. I bet you're loving this. It's a completely different feeling to spinning, and both of them require practice for you to become efficient. 4 minutes left. Well done. Yeah, that's it, Mark. Mr. Edwards, you can see those legs, not too fast. Make sure you've got enough pressure on there to maintain the power that is requested. But I would say this is an RPE of 4. Feels easy. The most difficult thing for me is that focus. Staying in my power zone whilst keeping this low cadence. Scrape that poo, use your hamstrings and your glutes. I'm still looking at the marks on the ceiling, Will. I think it must have been Poppy doing her gymnastics and her feet touching the ceiling. Okay, we're going to do a count again. 2, 1, and count. For me that time. Good. What about you guys? 17, Mark, well done. You're doing better than I am, that's fantastic. Nice and slow. Keep it steady. There's less than 2 minutes left for this effort. We get a short recovery where we spin at whatever is comfortable for us before we do the next one. So remember the gear that you're in. I don't have any left, so this is going to be, I will definitely have to change to easy gears, I think, as my legs get faster. Although I should be pushing out more power anyway, so we'll see how it goes. So we're sort of going to get one gear more difficult each time we change into another slot of effort. Slot? Not sure that's the right word I wanted to use. Module. Nope. unit of effort? Yeah, unit of effort. That's fantastic. Really good. Think about maintaining that core, keeping it strong. Don't let it flop. Think about squeezing with these thighs. Keep those legs in line and the power on the pedal. 30 seconds left. Good, keep it in that zone if you can. Absolutely fantastic. For those of you on smart trainers, I honestly think it's cheating. You don't have to concentrate quite as much. It does it all for you. And relax. So 2 minutes, nice and easy. And what we're going to do, we'll try and do, is go to a gear one easier than you were in for that, but we're going to lift the cadence. So the cadence for this next effort is between 80 and 90. Going into my realm now. I feel more comfortable with this. So hard to just be working so easy. But these easy efforts will pay off in the long run, and I'm sure the session won't feel quite as easy when we get to the end. One minute left of our recovery. You need to turn your fan on if you haven't already. Get it on there now. Got a little bit of time. Grab yourself a drink if you haven't got it. Keep those legs turning. Keep those legs turning. That's just what I want. I'm making up songs as I go along. I completely understand. You've already switched off. We're looking at the older stats. I'm being able to maintain viewers. Yeah, I think 1.5 minutes seems to be the optimum. So if you've managed to get this far, you're doing really well. It also says that all the people viewing are males in their 60s. I don't think I've got a single male in their 60s on my books, so I don't know who they are. Okay, are you ready? Let's go down to one above where you were last time. So we're going to lift. So again, I want you to think about lifting up and over and scraping the poo off the shoe at the bottom. You may only be able to think of one of those at a time. We will be doing a count shortly. So we've lifted the cadence and the power's gone up a little bit as well. So depending on how your gearing works, if you're not on a fancy smart trainer, will depend whether you can stay in the same gear and just lift the cadence, hit your power efforts. Remember, it should feel like you're working slightly harder than you did for the 10-minute effort. And this one is 9 minutes. And we will do a count. So we're looking for the 20 to sort of 22. I'm going to do that count in 15 seconds time. I missed that one. So find your rhythm. Let's do that count. Are you ready? And count. Oh, bang on 20. Well done me. So it's between 80 and 90 now. So I'm at the bottom end. So I think I can go as far as a 22. To stay in my zone. It's only a little bit more difficult than the previous one. Pacing ourselves up this hill. It's got a little less steep. We want to increase that effort. Well done, Kate and Freya. You're neck and neck up this hill now. Go arms across. There you are. Keep those legs spinning. Keep them steady. Competition's mounting. Ooh, Katrin's just up ahead. Can we catch Katrin? Keep it steady. Has she gone off too fast? Keep an eye on that jersey. Absolutely brilliant. I think we're getting a lot of catching. Katrin, don't let those girls catch you. Did you start a minute ahead of us? Only kidding. I know. Keep it going. All right, let's do a count. In the next at 30. Okay, getting ready. Remember, 20 to 22 for this one. Are you ready? And count. For me. Keep it going. Well done, guys. Good. Keep it steady. Coming up alongside you now, Katrin. Don't sprint off like a loo. We're going to save this for the sprint finish at the end of the effort. So stick with these girls, have a little chat, see how they're feeling. Make it look like you're feeling fresh. I feel great, how are things? Psych them out, use those mental strategies. A little bit of singing always helps. Makes you sound like you're not out of puff. You've got loads of energy left. Not that I use my singing for that at all. Mostly it's terrible singing that makes them back off or zoom off ahead and burn out. So there are lots of ways that you can use your psychological strategies at your benefit. Fantastic. Freya, brilliant work. Well done. Looking really good, making it look easy, girls. Those boys, they're trying to draft off you. Don't let them. Start singing. Get ready for another count coming up in 5. Ready? And count. So I could possibly be a little bit quicker. I'm a bit worried if I lose this routine now. I'll be all over the place. So I'll stick with the 80s for the moment. So the percentage of our FTP now is about 85%. So it should be totally doable, totally aerobic. Feeling about an RPE of 5. You could do this all day. I won't make you. Not that cruel. I can see that an evil grin upon my face. I won't do that to you. Not today. As the RPM, revolutions per minute, get up to the 90 mark. If you want to start thinking about it, you can get down on your bars. You can start to put the power not only through your glutes, hamstrings and quads, but you can use your upper body to push through your back and transfer the energy. Let's do another count just to finish. Are you ready? And count. $20 again. 40 seconds left, or thereabouts. $30 seconds left. Last 15, and then we get to recover, cycle how we feel. Hardly seems worth having a break. Absolutely fantastic, well done. Ease it off, and let those legs spin for another 2 minutes. Taking it nice and easy. So, we can pretend we've reached a plateau. We're halfway. Yeah, over halfway up our hill. We have got a whole 13 minutes of climbing left, split into an 8-minute and a 5-minute block. In the 5-minute block to finish, that's when the true race begins, girls, and boys, of course. Let's see how we're doing. Gosh, I tell you, it's just like Swift. You're all around each other. Imagine, use your imagination. That's what we've lost. Swift is putting you into that world. We have to imagine that we can feel those people breathing down our necks. Don't loosen off too much on this plateau. Try and stay nice and steady. So we're still at about a 4. So you drop down to a 4 for our recovery. But the next effort, we'll be hitting an RPE, the rate of perceived exertion, if you don't know what I've been whittering on about for the last 20 minutes or so. And that's scored on a scale of 1 to 10. 7 being where you start to puff and puff, where you're working at/above your threshold, your anaerobic threshold, where you're burning too much lactic acid, producing, I should say, more lactic acid than you can get rid of. So, 15 seconds, drop down either to the gear that you're in, or one easier, because we're going to pedal those legs a little bit faster. 2, 1, off we go. 8 minutes, think about how you're pedaling again. So now we're looking to be about 90 to 100 RPM. Sorry guys. My gears just changed, all by themselves, spooky dooky. There we go. Fantastic. So we're going to do a count in 5 seconds. Are you ready to count with me? Off we go then, and count. 22, I think I had there, so I'm on 88, so not quite where I need to be. Need to lift it higher. I need to go in an easier gear, because the higher the cadence is pushing me out of my zone, so making me work too hard. This is where we find a bit of a juggling act between the gears and the power output. Get ready to count again. In 2, 1, and count. $23. So that's better. We're in the 90 to 100 effort now. So 23 gives me 92, I think. And I'm just at the top of my power zone at that cadence. And I'm working that a little bit harder. So it's taking me up to the 6. Feel myself working, breathing a little bit more. Not quite puffing yet. That's in the next effort. I'm ready to count again, and count. $23. And we're still there. Concentrating now. A little bit over the power. So I think if I dropped another gear, I wouldn't even get into it. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg, or a quandary, I should say, which to choose. Four minutes coming up. We'll start another count. Are you ready? Count. We're getting there. Think about how you're pedaling. Peel off the shoe. Up and over the top. Think about where the power's coming from. Glutes and hands and quads. If you're down on the bars, you can pull on the bars to feel the power going through your body. Keep that rhythm. Brilliant, well done. That's it, Kate, fantastic. Come on, Sean. I can see you hiding in the back there. Starting to come through the crowd now. Slow and strong. Wins that race. Come on. Steady, steady. Into the last minute now. Well done. Come on, Martin and Heather. Looking good. Keep those smiles. Last 10. And relax. So pop it up. Remember the gear that you were in. So that when we go back down, you can do your 5 minutes effort in that one. Now you can choose your cadence for this one. I want it to be an RP of 7. So you are working quite hard, but only for 5 minutes. So how do you know if you're in an RP of 7? Well, what you need to think about is, see me puffing a little bit here now, is how much you're puffing. If you can hold a conversation and get a whole sentence out, you're probably just about hovering around the 7. If you can only get 2 or 3 words out and then you have to stop to breathe, you're probably over or on or over 7. And if you can't talk at all, and you're grunting at me, you're probably an 8, 9 or a 10. 10 is definitely a grunt. Okay, so if you're grunting, ease off on the gears. We'll have no grunting in here, ladies and gentlemen. Good. Spin those legs. So the last effort is whatever cadence you like. You know what my preferred is, but if you can hit over 80, I'm going to be happy. Okay, if you want to practice your lower cadence effort and a higher power output, then you can. We'll see who gets to the finish line first, but that's fine. So you choose whatever you think is your weakness. So if it's low cadence, high power, do that. If it's maintaining the power using a higher cadence, work on doing that in an easier gear. Or I should say, yeah, I've got that all the right way around. Okay, we're going up for 5 minutes in 3, 2, 1, whatever cadence you like. Think about how you're pedaling. And in fact, I'm going to go right to the bottom of my gears and I'm going to try and push that power out at a lower cadence because that is my weakness. I've got so used to spinning on my rollers, spinning on the turbo and not riding outside, I've forgotten what it's like to work hard up a hill. So hold that power, 5 minutes. Cadence is up to you. I really feel my quads starting to work when I'm at a lower cadence. Starting to kick in now, heading towards the 7. Having to think about my breathing and the rhythm. Three minutes left. Come on, guys. Is it going to be the tuner or is it going to be the spinner that gets to the top first today? Oh, come on. Halfway there, guys. Well done. Coming up to 2 minutes now. 2 minutes. Well done. Gauge that core. Focus on what you're doing. One minute left. Coming up to the last 30. Last 30 seconds now. Well done. Keep it going, guys. Ease it off. Whew. Nice and easy. Spinning those legs. Getting rid of any waste product. Because we were hitting the 7 mark, you should have a little bit more waste. Get a bit more lactic acid to get rid of. A nice little session. Getting those legs working a little bit differently to what we used to when on the turbo. So either it was helping you push your cadence up, or for me, it was helping me to work at a lower cadence, which can become quite alien if you spend your entire life indoors, which I do at the moment. Be interesting to see how I transfer to the road. That's it. Have a little bit of resistance on there as we cool down. I've got the McEnroe headband yet. Must sort it out. It's really stingy in the eyes. I've noticed when I play back I'm really blinky. Now I've told you that, you'll be looking for my blinks. I need something to prevent it from going in my eyes. Hopefully you've all enjoyed that session today. So we're going to spin for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to look to stretch whilst on the bike. Remember, health and safety. You only do this if you're 100% sure your bike is locked in and that you have got the balance and coordination not to fall off it. If, however, you choose to fall off it, please make sure there's a camera running so we can have it for our video file. Good. Another 30 seconds. You can either continue to spin, or at this point, if you don't feel secure on your turbo, you can leap off and start stretching on the floor. But remember, if you can just stretch 5 minutes after every session, you should be making a massive difference to your overall mobility and muscle health. Okay. I'm going to sit up. Right, blow my nose once more. Sweaty nostrils, we love it. Okay, so continue to pedal. Just do some nice big arm circles. I'm really focusing on doing them backwards because I want to stretch across the chest. Okay, so now I'm going to take my hands behind, push my elbows together, stick my chest right out. Okay, put my head up to the ceiling, stick my jaw out. Maybe I should tell you what I'm doing before I do it. So head up to the ceiling, then stick your jaw out so you can feel the stretch across the front of your neck. Push those shoulders together, push the elbows together at the back. Okay, and relax. Bring your shoulder up to your ear. Move it back and forth. Try and loosen that trapezius, and the other side. Okay, bringing your arms forward, keep the shoulder down, stretch across. If you want to feel the stretch and do a double whammy, you can put your head to the side, stretch through the trapezius, through that shoulder, and then across the body. You might find if you change the position of your head or neck, that you'll get a better stretch. All of us are slightly differently flexible. This side for me, I get absolutely amazing stretch down that trapezius, not so much on the other one. This is the side that's tight. Okay. Okay, what we're going to do now, I'm going to go straight into the legs. You can do more upper body if you need to, if you feel that's a personal weakness of yours. Remember, if you're doing triathlon, you need to have a nice mobile upper body, and those shoulders need to be as mobile and flexible as possible. So standing up on both feet, you can either stand up leaning against the wall, or whatever you might have beside you, drop your heels down to the ground. So you can feel a stretch going through both those legs. The legs are straight, hopefully you're clipped in. If you're not clipped in, your feet might slip off. So again, be careful. Not that I've had anybody complain yet. We're going to take one down, take my bottom off the seat and go down to the side. Again, feel that stretch going through the calf, right through the back of the knee. If we want to stretch the soleus, which is underneath the gastrocnemius, we'd have to do it with a bent knee. So we're going to do that one off the bike. Okay. And the other side, let your bottom come off the seat, a little bit of a twist. Feel that stretch. Okay, lifting up, I'm going to do the quadricep muscle, quadricep. Okay, knee to the floor, pelvis tucked under. Pull that heel towards your buttocks and push again. So you're pulling and pushing at the same time, so you're pushing back with the foot so it goes deeper into the quad muscle Make sure that pelvis has got a really nice little tilt on it so we're getting the hip flexors right through. If you have a bend, you're not going to get that stretch. So we need the pointing down and all the way. Let's go all the way. Okay, now I'm going to take it forwards, hamstring stretch, toes pulled towards you, sitting up nice and tall. Just lean forwards until you feel that stretch in the hamstring. You do not need to have your body bent over and leaning on your leg. If you feel the stretch, you feel that stretch. You want to protect the lower back, make sure it's just hamstring, keep it nice and flat, chest up. Keep looking forwards. Each time you breathe, you want to think about releasing and relaxing those muscles deep inside the leg. Okay, I'm going to shimmy forwards a little bit. I've got my armrests here, which are perfect for putting my feet in, and I'm going to stretch that outer glute muscle. We're looking at the piriformis there. Okay, and lean forwards. Now, cyclists often suffer from piriformis syndrome, which can be mistaken quite easily for sciatica. Okay, so if the piriformis muscle is tight, it pinches on the sciatic nerve and gives the same sort of symptoms. It's very treatable, but a lot of people will suffer thinking they've got sciatica. So it's always worth just checking that one. You can do foam rolling, sitting on a ball, all sorts of things to help release that muscle. Okay. Putting my hand, pelvis tucked under, make sure it's straight down. Pushing my foot into my hand, that's it, good. You'll always find one side is more flexible than the other. And bring the leg forwards. Sit up tall and lean. Now what we want to do in an ideal world is spend a good half an hour doing these stretches, but how many people have got that time? Make sure you spend at least once a week though with a good stretching routine. So you can either pick your upper body or your lower body or both, but once a week make sure you spend time. To do a developmental stretch, what you want to do for developmental is be holding these for at least 30 seconds and focusing on releasing those muscles. Fantastic. Shimmy it forwards, foot in the armrest if you've got one. If you haven't, you can do this on the floor. Lean forward. So you can either push the knee out to get it down, or just lean that little bit further forwards, using your bars for support. Feel those deep muscles in that hip and all around that gluteal area. That's what we want to try and release those. And relax. Okay, I'm going to leg off now. I want to say a huge thank you for joining me once again in the Den of Doom. Make sure you tell your friends. Obviously, I'm available. If anybody needs coaching, please message me below, or CD training at triathlonandmassage.com is my website. But you can always message me on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for joining me. Take care now. Bye-bye.